How's it going, everybody? The PlayStation mid-year deal sale is running from now until July 1st, and there's a ton of absolute bangers on sale for up to 90% off. Every day I put together lists of the top games you can get at a deep discount, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Alright, with that out of the way, that's enough yapping from me, so let's get straight into it. For $6, 60% off, Final Fantasy VII is a legendary, genre-defining turn-based RPG that follows Cloud Strife and the rebel group Avalanche in their fight against the corrupt Shinra Corporation and the vengeful Sephiroth. Journey across an expansive world powered by Mako energy, from the industrial sprawl of Midgar to snowy mountain peaks, ancient temples, and hidden laboratories, while forging deep bonds with unforgettable characters. It's a 92 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition is a first-person survival horror game that follows Ethan Winters as he searches for his missing wife inside the terrifying Baker mansion. With an intense shift to immersive first-person horror, brutal encounters against the Baker family, and all DLC included like banned footage, End of Zoe, and the Not a Hero chapter starring Chris Redfield, it delivers the complete and definitive RE7 experience. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered is a story-driven action-adventure following an assassin turned Templar during the French and Indian War. You'll hunt former allies, uncover far-reaching conspiracies, and navigate a morally complex world of shifting loyalties as you explore detailed North American environments while commanding the Morrigan in naval combat featuring enhanced weapons and dynamic sea encounters. It's a 74 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, Soma is a haunting, narrative-driven sci-fi horror game from the creators of Amnesia, set in the eerie underwater facility of Pathos 2, where machines believe they're human. With the radio dead, supplies dwindling, and reality unraveling, you'll uncover unsettling secrets while exploring dark corridors, reading encrypted logs, and piecing together the mystery of what went wrong deep beneath the ocean waves. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 50% off, Detroit Become Human is a cinematic narrative adventure from Quantic Dream that pushes the boundaries of interactive storytelling with stunning visuals, emotional depth, and meaningful, far-reaching choice that truly immerses players. Set in the futuristic city of Detroit in 2036, society thrives on the labor of androids until they begin to show signs of consciousness and rebellion, throwing the world into chaos and moral uncertainty. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, the Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 bundle delivers 2 full HD survival horror experiences, fully remastered with all DLC included. In Revelations, step aboard a ghost ship in the Mediterranean as Jill Valentine tries to find her old partner, Chris Redfield, shortly after the events of Resident Evil 4, and navigate Claire Redfield and Barry Burton's intertwined stories in Revelations 2, set between the events of Resident Evil 5 and 6. It's a 79 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 100 hours to get both platinums. For $6, 60% off, Don't Starve Together is a challenging multiplayer survival game where you gather resources, craft gear, and fight strange creatures while enduring a harsh, unpredictable world full of danger, mystery, and ever-changing seasonal threats. Explore massive procedurally generated biomes, battle towering seasonal giants, and build bases that evolve in a fortified hub shaped by your team's creativity and chaotic emergent moments. It's a 78 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $7, 85% off, Watch Dogs 2 is an open-world action-adventure that puts you in the shoes of Marcus Holloway, a gifted hacker fighting back against a hyper-surveilled San Francisco Bay Area. Teaming up with the hacker collective DedSec, you'll use drones, hacking tools, stealth, and creative gadgets to infiltrate secure locations, manipulate CTOS 2.0 systems, and expose how corrupt corporations exploit data to control society. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $6, 75% off, Green Hell is a brutal open-world survival simulator set deep in the unforgiving Amazon rainforest, where you're stranded alone with no supplies and no way to call for help. You'll craft shelters and primitive tools from raw materials, manage hunger and sanity while battling tropical diseases and venomous wildlife, and learn realistic survival mechanics that force you to treat wounds, start fires, and adapt to the jungle's ever-present dangers. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $7, 85% off. Deus Ex Mankind Divided Deluxe Edition is a cyberpunk action RPG where players control a mechanically augmented agent navigating a world divided by prejudice, crime, and conspiracy. The Deluxe Edition includes the Season Pass, an extra in-game mission, and the Covert Agent Pack, providing additional story content, unique augmentations, and special equipment that enhance gameplay strategy and replayability. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off. The Little Nightmares 1 and 2 bundle is a chilling puzzle platformer collection where you guide 6 in mono through twisted, nightmarish worlds filled with grotesque enemies and haunting mysteries. Explore the Maw in the original game and uncover its secrets of the Maw DLC, then venture into the eerie Pale City in Little Nightmares 2, avoiding terrifying resonance while unraveling the dark secrets of the Signal Tower. It's an 81 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to finish both games. For $9, 70% off. Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered is the definitive collection of Lara Croft's original globetrotting adventures, lovingly restored with enhanced visuals, modern controls, and all expansion content. Explore perilous tombs, ancient ruins, and mythical locations across the world as you solve intricate puzzles and uncover legendary treasures in the iconic trilogy that defined an entire era of action-adventure gaming. It's an 83 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 110 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $7, 75% off. Far Cry Primal is an open-world action-adventure set in the Stone Age, where you play as the last survivor of a hunting party fighting to survive in the dangerous wilderness of the land of Oros. Instead of modern weapons, combat focuses on crafting primitive tools, taming fierce predators, and battling rival tribes, while navigating a harsh world ruled by mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, and other deadly prehistoric beasts. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $6, 75% off. Vanquish is a fast-paced sci-fi shooter where you play a space DARPA agent tasked with infiltrating the solar-powered colony Providence after it's taken over by a mutinous faction using destructive technology to devastate Earth's cities. You'll engage in high-octane combat against legions of futuristic foes, utilizing the experimental blade system and acrobatic maneuvers to disable the threat to humanity's survival. It's an 84 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 34% off. Deus Ex: The Conspiracy is a dystopian cyberpunk action-adventure set in 2052, where terrorists, rampant disease, social unrest, and societal collapse threaten humanity while a shadowy global conspiracy rises. Navigate a world of political intrigue, high-tech augmentations, and deadly enemies as you uncover hidden agendas, infiltrate secure facilities, make morally complex choices, and shape the fate of entire nations. It's a 91 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7, 65% off. Abzu is a serene underwater exploration adventure where players dive into a vibrant ocean world filled with life, mystery, and ancient secrets. Swim gracefully through stunning aquatic environments, interact with schools of fish that dynamically respond to your movement, and uncover hidden ruins while experiencing a relaxing, visually striking journey inspired by the creators of Journey. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 75% off. Riders Republic is a massive multiplayer extreme sports playground where you can ride bikes, skis, snowboards, or wingsuits and explore an open-world sports paradise filled with chaos, competition, and tricks. Race, grind, and battle against over 20 players simultaneously across iconic U.S. national parks like Yosemite, Zion, and Bryce Canyon, customizing your character and taking on both career challenges and multiplayer events. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 55 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off. Alien Isolation: The Collection is a chilling survival horror experience that includes the full game and 7 additional content packs, blending tense stealth gameplay with an atmosphere of relentless dread and heart-pounding suspense. You play as Amanda Ripley 15 years after the events of Alien, unraveling the truth behind her mother's disappearance while navigating a desperate, panicked world. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off. Resident Evil 2 Deluxe Edition delivers the ultimate survival horror experience with the main game and extra DLC pack, including multiple costumes for Leon and Claire, the deluxe Samurai Edge Albert model weapon, and the ability to swap to the original soundtrack. Set in September 1998, Raccoon City is engulfed by a deadly virus, turning residents into flesh-eating zombies as chaos spreads rapidly across the rain-soaked streets. It's a 92 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $9, 65% off, Amnesia: The Bunker is a first-person horror game from the creators of Soma and Amnesia, plunging you into a desolate World War I bunker armed with only one bullet and a noisy dynamo flashlight as you confront oppressive, nightmarish terrors lurking in the dark. Play as French soldier Henri Clement, scavenging scarce supplies, crafting tools, and navigating a semi-open bunker that changes with every playthrough. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Fury is a boss-focused action game where you must fight your way out of captivity by facing a series of relentless, intricately designed guardians and uncovering the dark secrets behind your imprisonment. You'll combine lightning-fast sword strikes with precise dual-stick shooting, dodging and countering in rhythmically intense encounters that demand mastery of timing, reflexes, and strategic stamina management. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, LEGO Star Wars: The Force Awakens Deluxe Edition includes the main game and Season Pass content, offering the full LEGO Star Wars experience across a galaxy far, far away. Relive the epic action of the blockbuster film Star Wars: The Force Awakens, retold through LEGO's clever, witty, and endlessly entertaining lens, while exploring brand new story content bridging the events between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, the Trine Ultimate Collection brings together the first 4 games in the series for a magical, physics-based 2.5D adventure experience. Join Amadeus the Wizard, Pontius the Knight, and Zoya the Thief as they're bound to the mysterious artifact Trine, using their unique skills to battle undead foes, traverse treacherous landscapes, and solve clever puzzles across perilous quests that span the first 4 games. It's a 79 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to finish all 4 games. For $10, 75% off, Resident Evil Deluxe Origins Bundle delivers 2 survival horror experiences, including full HD remasters of Resident Evil and Resident Evil 0, along with the all-new Wesker mode. You'll explore tense, atmospheric environments, solve intricate puzzles, and manage scarce resources while facing relentless enemies, traps, and unexpected scares, all with options for modern or classic controls. It's an 87 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 55 hours to get both platinums. For $9, 70% off, The Division 2 is a tactical online RPG where you join elite civilian agents to save Washington, D.C., a city transformed by storms, flooding, and chaos, while battling hostile factions and protecting society's survivors. Complete seasonal objectives, strategically specialize your agent with unique skills and mods, and team up in co-op or competitive PvP to liberate the city and rebuild settlements while uncovering new threats. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $7, 80% off, Tools Up Ultimate Edition is a fast-paced couch co-op party game where you and up to 3 friends tackle zany, increasingly ridiculous home renovation projects together. The Ultimate Edition includes all DLC, adding all 45 levels of the Garden Party DLC, where you'll dive into levels set in spring, summer, and autumn, letting you rebuild patios, plant trees, spruce up lawns, and deal with some pesky raccoon and moles. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 90% off, Demon Gaze Extra is a first-person dungeon RPG where you play as a demon gazer, a bounty hunter wielding a mysterious eye that controls demons, delving into labyrinthine dungeons in a region haunted by powerful supernatural threats. Enhanced graphics and new gameplay elements refresh this beloved 2013 Japanese cult classic, while preserving its engrossing storyline, innovative demon-binding system, and thrilling challenges. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 55 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, Disney Classic Games Collection brings 3 beloved Disney platformers back to modern consoles, letting you relive the magic of Aladdin, Simba, and Mowgli's adventures with updated features and accessibility. You can play multiple versions from across the years, with added quality of life features like instantly rewinding tricky sections, saving progress anytime, and optional custom filter options while enjoying behind-the-scenes museum content. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $7, 25% off, Fear Effect 2 Retro Helix is a prequel set in 2048 Hong Kong, following mercenaries Hana, Glass, Deke, and Rain Chin from futuristic cityscapes to the lost tomb of China's first emperor in a tale blending espionage with ancient mythology. The iconic cel-shaded style, fear effect system tying combat to your heart rate, and tense mix of action, stealth, and survival horror are enhanced with modern quality of life features. It's an 82 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy is a courtroom adventure where you step into the shoes of Phoenix Wright to defend innocent clients, investigate crime scenes, and uncover the truth across 14 episodes spanning the first 3 games. You'll gather evidence, cross-examine witnesses, and piece together complex cases while navigating clever story twists, engaging dialogue, and tense trial sequences. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Far Cry 4 is an open-world first-person shooter that drops you into the stunning yet dangerous region of Herat, ruled by the charismatic and ruthless dictator Pagan Min. Explore a vast landscape filled with enemy outposts, unpredictable wildlife encounters, and dynamic side activities, using a huge arsenal of weapons, vehicles, and animals to approach every situation your own way, whether stealthy or explosively chaotic. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is an action-adventure game that revives the beloved Monster World series, created alongside the original Wonder Boy mastermind. Guide Jin through a vibrant, hand-drawn world, transforming into 6 unique forms with distinct combat and platforming abilities, while exploring vast lands, defeating challenging enemies, and uncovering hidden secrets across forests, caves, and magical kingdoms. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection is a 6-game bundle that brings together the full Zero and ZX storyline in one tight package, delivering fast 2D action, precise combat, and challenging boss encounters. You'll slash, shoot, and chain mobility skills through all 6 campaigns, while unlocking art, music, visual filters, and handy assists like casual scenario mode and save assists that make the experience smoother. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, the Talos Principle Deluxe Edition is a first-person philosophical puzzle game where you play as a sentient AI navigating a mysterious simulation filled with humanity's greatest ruins and enigmatic cathedrals. You'll solve increasingly complex puzzles that challenge logic and spatial reasoning, using a variety of tools while uncovering hidden terminals and optional challenges that gradually reveal the darker, haunting narrative. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Everybody's Golf is a lighthearted, accessible golf game where you can swing, putt, and drive through creatively designed courses using just 3 button clicks, with colorful environments and relaxing gameplay. Customize your character, explore side activities like fishing and karting, and develop your skills through challenge modes while enjoying vibrant environments and charming animations. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, and there's some online trophies that can't be unlocked anymore, making the platinum unobtainable. For $10, 67% off, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection is a definitive fighting game compilation celebrating 3 decades of the iconic franchise, featuring 12 titles from the Street Fighter 1, 2, 3, and Alpha series. Relive the classic arcade experience with online arcade mode, or challenge friends in online lobbies across 4 of the most definitive entries, mastering unique fighters, combos, and special moves. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 67% off, Ghostbusters, the video game remastered, is a third-person action-adventure that delivers an original Ghostbusters story set in New York, featuring the full original cast and writing from Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. You hunt and trap ghosts using proton packs, battle large-scale boss encounters, and explore destructible environments across iconic locations while upgrading gear and supporting the Ghostbusters team. It's a 78 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, South Park: The Stick of Truth is a hilarious RPG where you join Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny on an epic quest to become cool, battling underpants gnomes, hippies, and other outrageous enemies. Customize your character with countless combinations, recruit classic South Park friends, and wield magical weapons and mystical armor in turn-based combat that perfectly captures the irreverent humor of the series. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off. The Unravel Yarny bundle includes Unravel and Unravel 2, charming physics-based puzzle platformers where you guide lovable Yarny characters crafted from a single thread of yarn that slowly unravel as you progress. In Unravel, experience a heartfelt solo journey filled with clever puzzles, while Unravel 2 introduces co-op gameplay, allowing you to create a second Yarny to solve puzzles together. It's a 79 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 30 hours to get both platinums. For $10, 75% off, the Valkyria Chronicles Remastered and Valkyria Chronicles 4 bundle is a tactical JRPG collection set during a fictionalized World War-era conflict. Both games blend turn-based strategy with real-time movement as you command squads across hand-painted battlefields, manage action points, and balance positioning, unit roles, and limited resources under constant battlefield pressure. It's an 86 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 100 hours to get both platinums. For $6, 80% off, Journey to the Savage Planet Employee of the Month Edition is a goofy first-person adventure where you're dumped on a vibrant alien world by the incompetent Kindred Aerospace to determine if it's suitable for humanity. This definitive version runs at 60 FPS and includes all DLC, letting you explore 4 lively biomes full of odd creatures and humorous surprises using crafted tools like jet boots, grapples, and throwable gadgets. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Mega Man X Legacy Collection is a definitive compilation of the classic action platforming series, where players control Mega Man X as he battles deadly mavericks across 4 iconic titles, X, X2, X3, and X4. Dash, wall jump, and acquire enemy weapons while navigating fast-paced levels, mastering boss fights, unlocking new content in X Challenge mode, and exploring a museum of rare art, merchandise, and nostalgic commercials. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Street Fighter V Champion Edition is a premier fighting game featuring a roster of 40 diverse fighters, including Ryu, Chun-Li, and Guile, across multiple iconic stages. Players master unique fighting styles, chain combos, and execute special moves, while facing rivals in intense matches that demand precision, timing, adaptability, and split-second decision-making in both casual and competitive online settings. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle is a collection of 7 classic cooperative arcade games from Capcom's Golden Arcade era. Players battle waves of enemies in Final Fight, Captain Commando, and Knights of the Round, chaining powerful combos, mastering each character's unique moves, and dodging attacks from diverse enemies like Mad Gear gangsters, robots, and knights across iconic levels. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $8, 60% off, the Contra Anniversary Collection brings the classic run-and-gun franchise to modern platforms and introduces a new generation of players to its intense, action-packed gameplay. Blast through waves of enemies and epic bosses, while enjoying a digital bonus book filled with concept documents, the official franchise chronology, an exclusive interview with the veteran producer, and other behind-the-scenes content. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $6, 85% off, Sirento VR is a mission-driven VR action RPG set in a reimagined near-future Japan, where you play as a member of the Silent Ones, a covert organization practicing the forgotten martial arts of ancient samurai and ninja. Expect stunning sword fighting and gunplay, challenging levels, and menacing enemies in a game easy to pick up but tough to master, rewarding skill with the feeling of being an action movie hero. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 60% off, Nidhogg 2 is a fast-paced side-scrolling dueling game that builds on the award-winning gameplay of its predecessor, adding new weapons, levels, and grotesque over-the-top art from Toby Dixon. Challenge friends or AI in fast-paced duels, compete in 8-player tournaments, fully customize characters head-to-toe, and experience a pulsating soundtrack that elevates every intense edge-of-your-seat battle. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, and there's unfortunately a broken trophy making the 100% currently unobtainable. For $7, 75% off, The Surge 2 is a challenging sci-fi action RPG where you awaken in the ruined Jericho City after a plane crash, forced to survive amid martial law, rogue machines, and a growing nanostorm outbreak. Explore a sprawling urban environment, engage in precise, unforgiving melee combat, and target enemy limbs to harvest gear while upgrading your exosuit, implants, and drones to take on powerful, imposing bosses. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Omen Sight is an action-packed murder mystery where players take on the role of the Harbinger, a mythical warrior who appears during times of crisis to prevent the apocalypse. In the war-torn land of Auralia, witness the destruction caused by a dark god, then relive the final day to investigate, confront key characters, and use your Omen Sight powers to uncover secrets, influence events, and reshape the fate of the world. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Wild Guns Reloaded is a fast-paced arcade shooter blending Wild West action with steampunk flair, where players control Clint, Annie, Doris, or Bullet the dog with his sentry drone. Dodge, dive, and shoot through waves of enemies, face deadly bosses, and collect power-ups while using unique character abilities, mastering new weapons, and unlocking hidden secrets in solo or 4-player co-op action. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 80% off, the Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor Trilogy is the ultimate collection of Lara Croft's origin adventures, combining all the definitive editions of the critically acclaimed prequels into one epic journey. Traverse the mysterious island of Yamatai, brave the frozen Siberian tundra, and explore the perilous mountains of Peru as Lara hones her survival skills and faces deadly enemies. It's an 84 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 95 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $8, 60% off, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered is a classic JRPG set during a time of war, following Squall Leonhardt and the Elite Seed mercenaries as they oppose the tyrannical forces of Galbadia and the sorceress Edea. Join forces with Rinoa and allies to navigate political conflict, shifting loyalties, and a sweeping sci-fi fantasy narrative that blends personal relationships with world-altering stakes across multiple nations and timelines. It's an 89 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off, Prey Deluxe Edition is a first-person sci-fi immersive sim from award-winning Arcane Studios that reimagines the franchise with intense psychological twists aboard the doomed Talos 1 space station. You'll survive a hostile alien outbreak using a variety of weapons and creative player-driven problem-solving, then dive into the challenging roguelike Mooncrash DLC and the tense multiplayer hide-and-seek mode Typhon Hunter. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, God of War 3 Remastered delivers Kratos' explosive quest for revenge in brutal Greek mythology, fully remastered at 1080p and 60 FPS with sharper visuals, improved lighting, and smoother performance throughout. You'll climb Mount Olympus, battle towering gods and legendary monsters, and solve environmental puzzles using the Blades of Exile alongside powerful magic and devastating new weapons. It's a 92 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 90% off, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate is the definitive fighting game experience, combining 2 critically acclaimed time-bending story campaigns with the full, complete roster of 37 characters. Battle through Towers of Time, the Crypt, Classic Towers, or online modes while reliving epic clashes from all previous guest fighters like Terminator, Joker, Spawn, and RoboCop, with Combat Pack 1, Aftermath expansion, and Combat Pack 2 all included. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a gothic horror action side-scrolling RPG set in 19th century England, where you play as Miriam, an orphan cursed by an alchemist whose body slowly crystallizes. You'll explore a demon-infested castle, battle grotesque minions and powerful bosses, and collect, craft, and unlock a vast array of weapons, spells, and equipment to customize your combat style and overcome supernatural horrors. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Dishonored 2 is a first-person stealth action game where mysticism and industry collide in the plague-ridden Empire of the Isles. You play as either Empress Emily Caldwin or her father, Corvo Attano, each with their own supernatural abilities, weapons, and playstyles, in a story of revenge and political intrigue set in the steampunk-inspired city of Karnaca, where every mission offers creative freedom to strike from the shadows. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $9, 85% off, Far Cry 5 is an open-world first-person shooter set in Hope County, Montana, battling the fanatical Eden's Gate cult led by the charismatic Joseph Seed, while sparking a full-scale resistance across a lawless rural landscape. Explore the world solo or in 2-player co-op, liberating regions in any order using a wide mix of guns, vehicles, and animal companions like Cheeseburger and Boomer across forests, farms, and small towns. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 84% off, Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown is a thrilling flight combat game that puts you in the cockpit as an ace pilot, soaring through photorealistic skies and engaging in dogfights against enemy forces. Experience dynamic weather and environmental effects that challenge your piloting skills while completing cinematic missions, taking down squadrons, and mastering advanced aircraft in a campaign blending strategy with high-speed aerial action. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition is a remastered open-world fantasy RPG where you explore the vast province of Skyrim as the Dragonborn, a hero born with the power to combat dragons, shape the world's fate, and influence political factions. The game features enhanced visuals, remastered effects, volumetric god rays, dynamic depth of field, and screen space reflections that bring the province to life in stunning detail. It's a 92 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 125 hours to platinum. For $7, 85% off, Dead Island 2 is a first-person action RPG where you fight through a zombie-infested Los Angeles while uncovering the shocking truth behind a mysterious infection that has made you more than immune. You'll explore iconic locations across LA, wield an arsenal of melee weapons, and use a flexible skill system to create over-the-top builds that shred through dozens of mutated zombie types with gloriously detailed dismemberment. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Earthian is a thrilling 16-bit inspired shoot-'em-up where you pilot the advanced YK-2A fighter as environmental researcher Azusa Takanashi to defend a ruined Earth from invading forces. You'll blast through 8 action-packed stages, collect enemy resources to upgrade your ship, and wield a variety of sub-weapons while testing your skills in challenge mode, all set to a dynamic soundtrack composed by the legendary Yuzo Koshiro. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Rogue Waters is a tactical pirate roguelike where you play as Captain Cutter, a pirate caught in a deadly struggle for power, navigating dangerous seas, commanding a crew, and confronting mythical sea creatures. Each run offers procedurally generated encounters with diverse enemies and pirate factions, while you recruit and upgrade crew members, manage ship modules, and customize cannons for naval and boarding combat. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $6, 85% off, Metro Exodus Gold Edition is a story-driven first-person shooter blending deadly combat, stealth, exploration, and survival horror across a stunning post-apocalyptic Russia filled with danger, secrets, and atmospheric detail. The Gold Edition includes the expansion pass with 2 major story-driven DLCs, the 2 Colonels and Sam's story, adding new perspectives, missions, enemies, and challenges that expand the original adventure. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off, Battlefield 1 Revolution is a complete first-person shooter experience set during the battles of the Great War, combining the base game with all 4 expansions, the Heroes of the Great War bundle, and full multiplayer content. Players can experience an adventure-filled campaign, engage in team-based battles on land, air, and sea, and customize gameplay with new weapons, maps, and content from the Premium Pass. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $8, 20% off, Duck Detective: The Secret Salami is a cozy mystery adventure where you play as a down-on-his-luck duck detective unraveling a sinister sausage-based conspiracy in a quirky, whimsical world. Explore vibrant neighborhoods full of oddball characters, gather crucial clues from strange and amusing locations, and piece together evidence using your sharp deductive reasoning to solve twisty, entertaining cases. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 3 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, Borderlands Legendary Collection delivers 3 full games, Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, packed with over 100 hours of loot-filled co-op action across Pandora and its moon, Helios. Battle bandits and bosses using an enormous arsenal of guns, grenades, and abilities, while customizing your Vault Hunter and teaming up with friends locally or online. It's an 84 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 160 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $7, 60% off, We Were Here Forever is a cooperative puzzle adventure where you and a friend are trapped in the mysterious Castle Rock and must rely on communication and teamwork to escape. You'll explore dungeons, eerie graveyards, and dark waters while uncovering the history of Rockberry, the resistance against the king, and centuries-old secrets, all while solving intricate 2-player puzzles via walkie-talkies that test trust, timing, and coordination. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off. We Love Katamari Reroll and Royal Reverie is a whimsical action puzzle game where players control the prince, rolling a Katamari to restore the stars in the universe, fulfill dreams, and delight the king of the cosmos. Players roll up everyday objects, buildings, and living creatures, complete all-new Royal Reverie challenges, and explore stages with redesigned graphics, revamped UI, and hidden collectibles to grow the Katamari bigger and bigger. It's an 87 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 75% off, Risk of Rain 2 is a fast-paced roguelike where you fight through hordes of relentless monsters on an alien planet, solo or with friends, mastering each character's unique abilities to survive. You'll explore visually striking locales, collect over 110 powerful items, and adapt to a scaling system that grows both you and your foes stronger over time, while unlocking 10 unique survivors and experimenting with artifacts to modify gameplay. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7, 70% off. Gun Club VR is a realistic VR firearm simulator featuring over 100 fully interactive weapons with real-world ballistics, flicking safeties, racking slides, selecting burst or full auto, across remastered ranges with enhanced textures and lighting. Unlock hundreds of attachments, earn rankings across diverse events including hostage rescue and zombie apocalypse scenarios, and enjoy the unlimited freedom of sandbox mode. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off. Tomb Raider Legend is a classic action-adventure that blends exploration, combat, and puzzle solving into a globe-trotting journey filled with danger and mystery. Travel across remote locations as Lara Croft, battling enemies, navigating deadly traps, and solving environmental puzzles, while uncovering hidden relics and secrets tied to a legendary artifact and her past, using acrobatic platforming and fluid movement. It's an 82 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $9, 90% off. Sniper Elite 4 Deluxe Edition is a tactical third-person shooter set in World War II, featuring long-range sniping and expansive combat across Italy. Move through sun-drenched villages, dense forests, and fortified Nazi strongholds while coordinating with the Italian resistance, using stealth, explosives, and precision shooting to execute takedowns, complete objectives, and uncover intel that reveals deeper threats throughout the campaign. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off. Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince is a 2.5D fantasy action platformer that reunites Amadeus the Wizard, Pontius the Knight, and Zoya the Thief on a quest to save Prince Celius from nightmares manifesting into reality. Traverse fairy tale locations using physics-based puzzle solving, fluid character switching combat that blends magic, swordplay, and stealth archery, and drop in local or online co-op that lets up to 4 players combine abilities. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $8, 70% off. The Nobody Saves the World in Frozen Hearth bundle is a shape-shifting action RPG where you transform into forms like horse, zombie, and robot to stop the vile calamity. Mix and match abilities across hundreds of quests, explore a vast overworld, and tackle dozens of challenging dungeons, while the Frozen Hearth expansion adds new forms, puzzles, and epic boss fights to test your creativity and skill. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off. Mafia 2 Definitive Edition is a remastered crime action game set in 1940s to 50s Empire Bay, where war hero Vito Scaletta becomes entangled with the mob to pay his father's debts and rise through the criminal ranks. Explore a sprawling post-war city teeming with opportunity and organized crime, engaging in high-stakes heist and morally complex missions that capture the allure and danger of the Golden Era Mafia. It's a 76 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off. Under the Waves is a narrative-driven adventure exploring the engulfing power of grief, where diver Stan retreats into self-imposed solitude in a techno-futuristic 1970s North Sea, struggling to overcome a life-changing loss. Pilot your submarine through caves and wrecks, craft equipment, and follow strange manifestations of memory as poetic storytelling guides him toward a difficult choice and a possible way back to the surface. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off. Astrobot Rescue Mission is an inventive VR-exclusive platformer that puts you in the role of the heroic Captain Bot on a thrilling mission to save fellow bots scattered across colorful, imaginative, and intricately designed world. Navigate dynamic levels packed with clever puzzles, hidden collectibles, and tricky enemies, while using the immersive capabilities of PlayStation VR to look, aim, and interact with the environment. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 90% off, the Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate and Injustice 2 Legendary Edition bundle packs 2 of NetherRealm Studios' finest fighting games into one knockout package. MK11 Ultimate brings a 37-character roster and 2 critically acclaimed time-bending story campaigns, while Injustice 2 Legendary Edition assembles the largest DC Universe roster ever in a fighting game, including all 10 DLC characters like Hellboy and TMNT. It's an 88 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 100 hours to get both platinums. For $10, 80% off, Valkyria Chronicles 4 Complete Edition is a tactical RPG set during the Second European War, following Commander Claude Wallace and Squad E as they fight for the Federation's survival. Lead turn-based battles through the Blitz system, deploy units like Scouts, Shock Troopers, and Grenadiers, and experience an emotional war story expanded with the 2 Valkyria, expert-level skirmishes, and a united front with Squad 7 DLC. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off, Rainbow Six Extraction is a tactical co-op PvE shooter where 1 to 3 players battle a lethal, mutating alien parasite across 12 large dynamic maps using 18 operators, 69 guns, and 25 gadgets, all with ongoing free post-launch content. Test your skills against 13 mutating enemy types with 4 adjustable difficulty levels and the thrilling endgame ranked mode, with a buddy pass letting you invite 2 friends free for 14 days. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $9, 85% off, Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus Deluxe Edition is a brutal first-person shooter where BJ Blazkowicz fights to liberate Nazi-controlled America in a gritty, action-packed, story-driven campaign filled with intense moments. Battle through iconic locations, wield a powerful arsenal, and unleash aggressive abilities, while experiencing all DLC episodes included in the Freedom Chronicles and additional narrative-driven missions. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Star Ocean Till the End of Time is a classic JRPG where you explore vast worlds, uncover the deepest secrets of the Star Ocean universe, and engage in a dynamic real-time combat system blending strategy, skill, and action. You'll traverse diverse planets, meet richly written characters, and experience an epic story balancing personal drama, interstellar conflict, and universe-altering revelations that reshape everything. It's an 81 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 130 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania rolls you into wacky, colorful worlds as you race to stop the evil Dr. Bad Boon from destroying Jungle Island and save all your beloved bananas. Bounce, tilt, and roll through over 300 stages from Super Monkey Ball, Super Monkey Ball 2, and Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, compete in 12 fun minigames like Monkey Racing and Monkey Soccer, and challenge friends online for top banana rankings. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R is an over-the-top anime fighting game that celebrates the entire JoJo saga with iconic characters, flashy stands, and the series' trademark style brought vividly to life. Featuring 50 playable fighters spanning every arc, from Jonathan Joestar and Dio Brando to Jolene Cujo and Giorno Giovanna, you'll experience dream matchups and brand new battles that could only happen in this crossover. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD is an action RPG where you control Class 0, 14 elite students from a prestigious military academy, as they fight to defend their homeland from a brutal, relentless invading empire bent on total conquest. Switch between characters in real-time combat, harness unique abilities and devastating magic, and experience a dark, war-torn world full of strategy, political intrigue, and high-stakes battles. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Flynn, Son of Crimson is a handcrafted 2D action platformer where you help Flynn and his mythical companion Dex save Rosantica from the invading evil of the Scourge. Explore vibrant regions and sinister realms, uncover relics and secrets, and master the power of Crimson energy through a versatile arsenal including the Crimson Sword, Axe, and Claws, while combining precise platforming with fast-paced combat. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 60% off, Astro Aqua Kitty is an action RPG shoot-'em-up where Aqua Kitty cats blast off into space to investigate mysterious water-filled asteroids, battling bizarre enemies and marauding pirate rabbits, always racing to snatch the loot first before you get any chance of claiming it yourself. Pick your crew, mine magnificent gems, grab new weapons, install enhancing devices, and unlock unique skills as you level up your team's XP. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5, 80% off, The Escapist 2 Game of the Year Edition is an addictive prison simulation game bursting with humor and sandbox gameplay, including all 11 prisons from the base game and all DLC penitentiaries under one roof. Buy, barter, and beat your way to the items you need through crafting, combat, and criminal activity, conspire with up to 4 players in cooperative and versus multiplayer, and customize your convict as you plan your great escapes. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, Battlefield 5 Definitive Edition is the ultimate World War II shooter experience, combining the base game with every Year 1 and Year 2 expansion for a complete arsenal of weapons, vehicles, and gadgets for thrilling, large-scale combat. Players can dive into intense multiplayer battles, customize soldiers with dozens of elites, outfits, and skins, and explore 84 immersive outfit variations that enhance the World War II sandbox. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $9, 75% off, Overcooked and Overcooked 2 bundles both chaotic cooperative cooking games, letting you and up to 3 friends chop, fry, and serve your way through unconventional kitchens and local or online co-op across both titles and their many quirky stages. Choose from over 20 chefs across 75 levels spanning competitive and cooperative challenge modes as you save the Onion Kingdom not once but twice over. It's an 81 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to finish both games. For $10, 80% off, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition is a flashy 2D crossover fighting game that unites characters from Blaze Blue, Persona 4 Arena, Under Night In-Birth, and Ruby in explosive 2v2 battles. Pick your dream tag team and dive into fast-paced matches featuring active switch mechanics and stylish auto combos, with the added additional character packs volumes 1 through 7 adding an additional 22 characters plus 3 extra color sets. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, the Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope is a cinematic horror adventure where 4 college students and their professor become trapped in a fog-shrouded town, facing terrifying visions tied to the 17th century Andover witch trials. You'll make critical choices that branch the story, evade relentless supernatural apparitions, and play solo or in online and local co-op, all while uncovering dark secrets that threaten each character's soul. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $6, 90% off, God Eater 2 Rage Burst is an anime-style action RPG where a new recruit battles origami during the deadly Black Plague outbreak. Wield transforming god arcs in fast-paced hunts, master over 400 blood arts and blood bullets to customize your combat style, unlock powerful skills and upgrade your weapons, and team up online in 4-player co-op missions against towering origami across a fully voiced over 100-hour campaign. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $7, 50% off, Blood Omen 2 Legacy of Kain is a dark action adventure where the vampire Lord Kain awakens centuries after being overthrown, seeking vengeance and power in a world that has nearly wiped out his kind. As Kain hunts those responsible, you'll unleash brutal melee attacks with heavy weapons, wield supernatural dark gifts like stealth and berserk powers, and drain enemies' blood while battling through grim cities and haunted lands. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Blizzard Arcade Collection is an anthology that brings 5 classic Blizzard games to modern platforms for fans and new players alike. Play Blackthorn, The Lost Vikings 2, Rock and Roll Racing, and RPM Racing. Experience enhanced original and definitive editions with improved controls and local multiplayer, and explore the museum with art, music, and behind-the-scenes interviews showcasing Blizzard's early legacy. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, Moving Out 2 is a physics-based moving simulator that combines wacky humor, inventive puzzle design, and cooperative multiplayer madness with endlessly surprising antics. Whether playing as a solo agent or teaming up with up to 3 friends locally or online, you'll navigate interdimensional portals, pack and transport bizarre furniture, and tackle hilariously unpredictable challenges that demand creative problem solving. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 75% off, Ultros is a psychedelic sci-fi adventure that puts you in a mysterious space vessel stranded on the Sarcophagus, a drifting cosmic structure harboring an ancient demonic being. Explore a vast alien world, engage in intense close-quarters combat, and cultivate the environment while mastering loot mechanics, unlocking abilities, and uncovering hidden lore that gradually reveals your role in the cycle of destruction and rebirth. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $7, 50% off, Ziggurat is a fast-paced, first-person dungeon crawling shooter where you play as a neophyte sorcerer, proving your worth by battling enemies and powerful bosses in procedurally generated labyrinths. You'll cast spells, unlock perks, navigate deadly traps, and collect valuable treasures, while combining FPS action with roguelite and RPG elements for a varied, challenging, and endlessly replayable experience. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Dismantle is a post-apocalyptic open-world survival game where you emerge from your shelter to find a world overrun by vile creatures and reclaimed by nature with one goal: escape the island. Break down nearly every object for materials, craft weapons and outfits, build outposts, farm, fish, cook, hunt, tame animals, and solve puzzles in ancient tombs as you unravel the mysteries of a handcrafted world that keeps getting worse. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $7, 70% off, Regalia of Men and Monarchs Royal Edition is a tactical RPG where you restore a fallen kingdom to its former glory, assemble a valiant party, and vanquish foes in challenging turn-based combat. Inheriting a wondrous land after your father's passing, you must repay debts and rebuild your family seat through daring adventuring, exploring diverse lands, completing varied quests, and bonding with dozens of colorful characters. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Star Ocean: The Last Hope is a sci-fi JRPG set after Earth's devastation in World War III, following humanity's first steps into deep space during an ambitious interstellar exploration era in search of a new home. You'll explore distant planets, form relationships with alien races, and engage in fast-paced, real-time combat with skill-based mechanics and party-driven strategies, while uncovering a threat that endangers all of creation. It's a 76 on GameRankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 500 hours to platinum. For $6, 50% off, Cassette Boy is a mysterious puzzle RPG built on a Schrödinger system where anything outside your view simply ceases to exist, letting you rotate a deceptively 3D world to reveal hidden paths or make obstacles vanish entirely by shifting your perspective. Gather weapons, battle monsters and powerful bosses, and unravel the secret of a vanished moon as you master the fragile boundary between presence and absence itself. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 90% off, Shadow of War Definitive Edition is an open-world action RPG where you forge a new ring of power, lead a personal orc army, and conquer fortresses across Mordor using the award-winning Nemesis system. You'll engage in massive battles while recruiting and dominating enemy orcs, develop powerful abilities, and explore a richly detailed, dynamic world filled with challenging enemies, side missions, and evolving threats. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, The Stone of Madness is a real-time tactical stealth game set in an 18th century Spanish monastery that doubles as a madhouse and inquisitorial prison, where 5 prisoners plot a desperate escape. You'll alternate between Agnes, Leonora, Eduardo, Amelia, and Alfredo, combining unique abilities to sneak past and distract guards and enemies, and survive a dynamic day-night cycle where paranormal threats emerge after dark. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For $7, 30% off, Skyforce Anniversary is a legendary scrolling shoot-'em-up celebrating its 10th anniversary, blending the intensity of classic arcade shooters with stunning 3D visuals, intuitive controls, and a powerful upgrade system that keeps you blasting through waves of enemies. New social gameplay elements add an extra layer of depth to this beloved series, rewarding skill and persistence across hours of relentless arcade action. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 50% off. Naiad is a serene and wholesome adventure where you drift along a mysterious river, connecting with its wildlife and uncovering hidden secrets in a soothing, dreamlike world. Across 16 beautifully crafted episodes, you'll journey through enchanting environments such as shadowy caves, lush forests, joyful creeks, calm lakes, and finally, the vast sea, all brought to life with a distinctive art style and gentle atmosphere. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Dismantle is a post-apocalyptic open-world survival game where you emerge from your shelter to find a world overrun by vile creatures and reclaimed by nature with one goal: escape the island. Break down nearly every object for materials, craft weapons and outfits, build outposts, farm, fish, cook, hunt, tame animals, and solve puzzles in ancient tombs as you unravel the mysteries of a handcrafted world that keeps getting worse. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $9, 65% off, Redout Lightspeed Edition is a fast-paced anti-gravity racer blending classic arcade thrills with physics-based, high-intensity driving across over 100 events spanning 35 tracks, 7 teams, and 4 ship classes. Master upgrades, power-ups, and precision maneuvers to dominate opponents in single-player, online multiplayer, or local split-screen, all set against stunning neon visuals and a heart-pounding electronic soundtrack. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7, 85% off, Steel Rising Bastille Edition is a challenging action RPG set in alternate 1789 Paris, where Louis XVI's mechanical armies crush the revolution and a mysterious automaton must confront the king's forces to save history. Fight relentless mechanical soldiers and massive bosses, combining precise dodges, parries, jumps, and devastating attacks while exploring secret-filled Paris alongside the Cagliostro Secrets DLC. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $6, 60% off, the Quake 1 and 2 bundle is a classic first-person shooter collection where you play the enhanced versions of Quake and Quake 2, experience their original campaigns, and explore new expansions. Battle through dark fantasy and military sci-fi worlds, master fast-paced combat, and enjoy online or local co-op while unlocking new levels, horde challenges, and community mods across 2 iconic FPS games. It's a 91 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to get both platinums. For $9, 55% off, Angerfoot is a lightning-fast, bass-thumping, over-the-top action shooter about kicking down doors, smashing through walls, and tearing through the chaotic streets of a crime-ridden city filled with relentless enemies. You kick, shoot, and smash your way through waves of gangsters while unlocking wild sneakers, powerful weapons, and ridiculous upgrades that reshape how you clear each frantic, high-speed level. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7, 70% off, The Eternal Cylinder is a surreal survival adventure where you play as a tiny creature called a Trebum, exploring bizarre alien biomes while fleeing a colossal rolling destroyer that flattens everything in its path. Mutate with over 50 abilities to survive predators and hazards, grow a customizable family of Trebum, and uncover ancient knowledge hidden in sanctuaries while dodging the Cylinder's monstrous minions. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $6, 85% off, 2 Point Hospital Jumbo Edition is a quirky hospital management sim where you build and run a sprawling healthcare empire across 2 Point County. Design and optimize 27 unique hospitals across locations like Bigfoot and Peverly Island, diagnose and treat 189 bizarre illnesses with outlandish cure machines, and manage staff, research upgrades, and hospital prestige through 4 major expansions and bonus item packs. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $8, 20% off, Duck Detective: The Ghost of Glamping is a cozy mystery adventure where you play Eugene McQuacklin, a down-on-his-luck duck detective investigating a haunted campsite while confronting personal woes. Interview eccentric suspects, inspect unusual evidence, and collaborate with a quirky new sidekick to uncover hidden clues, solve twisty puzzles, and unravel a ghostly mystery in a fully voice-acted, humor-filled world. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 3 hours to platinum. For $6, 50% off, Maldita Castilla EX Cursed Castilla is an extended version of Loco Malito's acclaimed arcade classic, sending you through 8 challenging stages across Tolomera del Rey to battle over 48 enemy types and 19 brutal final bosses. Banish evil across 4 different endings, unlock an illustrated bestiary of legendary monsters, earn 15 achievements, and relive arcade glory with 10 screen view modes and both original and remastered soundtracks. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Kona 2 Broom is a suspenseful detective adventure set in northern Quebec, 1970, where a mysterious mist called the Broom disconnects a rural mining village from reality and disrupts the balance of nature. Explore snowy landscapes on your trusty dog sled, investigate abandoned buildings and scattered clues, and survive harsh blizzards, dangerous wildlife, and unsettling nightmares while uncovering the dark truth behind the Broom. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 84% off. Digimon Survive is a hybrid visual novel and tactical RPG where Takuma Momozuka and friends get lost on a school trip and end up in a strange, mysterious world where survival depends on cunning strategy and careful relationship management. Forge meaningful bonds, make consequential choices shaping both narrative and combat, recruit and evolve Digimon, and navigate tense turn-based battles while uncovering dark secrets around every corner. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $8, 47% off, Cozy Grove is a charming life sim where you play a spirit scout camping on a haunted, ever-changing island, wandering its forests each day to uncover hidden secrets and help soothe lonely local ghosts back to life and color. Sync to real-world time with 30 to 60 minutes of fresh quest content daily, you'll craft, fish, decorate, and befriend dozens of memorable spirits, each with their own extensive story to unravel over time. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $7, 85% off. Iron Harvest Complete Edition is a dieselpunk RTS set in an alternate 1920s, where you command massive walking mechs through story-driven campaigns, co-op missions, and multiplayer skirmishes across war-torn Europe. Balance stealth maneuvers with full frontal assaults, command diverse units including airships and paratroopers, and uncover secret plots threatening the continent as you master cover, firepower, and mech supremacy. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $5, 70% off, Darkwood is an atmospheric survival horror that relies on dread, careful planning, and resource management rather than cheap jump scares, immersing players in a uniquely haunting experience. By day, you explore and scavenge the eerie forests of the Soviet bloc, while at night you hunker down to survive against relentless supernatural forces that stalk the woods, threatening your sanity as you navigate an ever-changing world. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Gorn is a ludicrously violent VR gladiator simulator where players step into the arena to unleash creative, chaotic, and over-the-top combat fantasies. Players savagely battle opponents using swords, maces, and bows while mastering physics-driven interactions and executing brutal takedowns, all while improvising with the environment, timing attacks perfectly, and finding inventive ways to dominate foes. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Sniper Elite VR is a first-person tactical shooter set in southern Italy during 1943, where you take on the role of an elite sniper fighting alongside the Italian resistance against fascist forces. Use authentic World War II weapons, navigate enemy-filled levels with free movement, and witness visceral X-ray killcam effects rebuilt for VR, all while completing an explosive 18-mission campaign that rewards skill and patience. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7, 65% off, Shooty Fruity is a wildly entertaining VR multitasking shooter where you work as a sharpshooting shop clerk, scanning and serving produce with one hand while blasting waves of mutant fruit with the other using PlayStation Move. Work through a career of roles including checkout and canteen duty, unlocking a customizable arsenal of guns, explosives, and power-ups to unload into wave after wave of vicious, ripe attackers. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Do Not Feed the Monkeys is a digital voyeur simulator where you spy on strangers through surveillance cameras, invading their privacy to witness intimate moments and uncover dark secrets hidden behind closed doors across an entire sprawling, mysterious city full of stories. Resist the temptation to interact with your subjects. Breaking the cardinal rule and feeding the monkeys could unravel consequences you never saw coming. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For For $6, 60% off. Hotline Miami 2: Wrong Number is a hyper-violent top-down action game where rival factions chase vengeance and power in the chaotic aftermath of the first game's bloodshed, switching between characters, each with unique abilities. Blast through neon-drenched levels demanding perfect timing and calculated aggression as a fractured story blurs reality and hallucination, all set to a pulsing soundtrack and unforgivingly stylish retro visuals. It's a 79 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off. Griftlands is a deck-building roguelike where every choice matters as you fight, negotiate, and navigate a broken-down sci-fi world. Play as Sal, Rook, or Smith, each with unique decks, abilities, and storylines, battle challenging bosses, hire mercenaries or pets to aid your journey, and explore richly hand-illustrated environments filled with factions and unpredictable events that keep every run fresh and exciting. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 55 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $6, 75% off. Achilles: Legends Untold is a Souls-like action RPG set in ancient Greece where you play as the legendary warrior Achilles, mastering stamina-based combat, blocking, dodging, and severing limbs across an open world of mythological monsters and punishing bosses. Build your playstyle through a skill tree, weapon combinations like axes, spears, and two-handed swords, and a crafting system, while pursuing a story with 2 different endings. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off. Little Misfortune is an interactive story focused on exploration and characters, both sweet and dark, where you're led by mysterious new friend Mr. Voice into the woods to unravel mysteries and a bit of bad luck. Pet a doggy, fishy, wolfie, the kraken, and more, visit a pet cemetery, fall in love, commit petty crimes, and hear Misfortune's adorable voiced lines in this Fran Bow-adjacent tale from Kill Monday Games. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $7, 75% off. Mega Dimension Neptunia V2R is a turn-based JRPG featuring massive enemies, custom attack combos, dazzling specials, and devastating team attacks, with characters capable of 2 transformation levels for extra tactical depth across vibrant worlds and wacky dialogue. A VR mode lets you cross dimensions and hang out one-on-one with your favorite Neptunia characters, with an online dimension rank challenge to compete on leaderboards. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off. Toy Soldiers HD is a multi-genre action strategy game where you command antique World War I toy soldiers across trench-filled diorama battlefields, leading infantry, cavalry, tanks, and planes while wielding an arsenal of guns, mortars, and flamethrowers. Take direct control of weapons or command from above, defending your toy box with new content, skins, expanded game modes, and improved controls, plus all original DLC and a few brand new levels. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $8, 20% off. Project Winter is an 8-person multiplayer survival game of trust and betrayal, where survivors gather resources and repair objectives to escape a frozen wilderness while hidden traitors work to sabotage and eliminate their so-called allies. Choose Streamlined Cabin Fever or Punishing Classic mode, communicate through proximity voice and secret radios, and unlock cosmetics as you discover whether your friends truly have your back. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off. Redout 2 is a tribute to classic arcade racing games and the sequel to the critically acclaimed Redout, sending you racing through dystopian wastelands of a semi-abandoned Earth at exhilarating, impossible speeds. Fly through hundreds of events across 36 reversible racetracks in an extensive single-player campaign, customize your hovership with 12 distinct chassis and countless parts, and compete in online multiplayer with regularly added seasonal content. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $7, 50% off. Jack X Combat Racing follows Jak and Daxter as a mysterious invite to Crass City turns deadly when the sinister crew poisons them, forcing the duo to race in the Crass City Grand Championship for the antidote against the world's best drivers. Blend high-speed racing with weaponized combat across the biggest combat racing event on the planet, battling through tracks packed with hazards, rivals, and explosive vehicular mayhem. It's a 77 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off. Vendetta Forever is a VR action game fusing rapid-fire tactical gunplay with acrobatic style, where you shoot to kill and seize enemies' weapons mid-air to propel yourself through over 60 cinematic scenes spanning saloon shootouts to high-altitude hijackings. Wield over 50 iconic weapons, silenced pistols, sniper rifles, even a pencil, to a pounding synthetic soundtrack with global leaderboards and 20 modifiers keeping the carnage fresh. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 60% off. The Life and Suffering of Sir Brant is a narrative RPG told through a journal, following a commoner's journey to claim a family legacy in an empire where dissent is mercilessly crushed. Develop traits like determination and endurance, make consequential choices shaping your relationships, and explore branching paths toward becoming a judge, inquisitor, or revolutionary, aided by a resurrection system that carries experience beyond death. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $7, 50% off. Platypus Reclayed is a complete claymation revamp of the iconic indie shoot-'em-up, putting you in the cockpit of the legendary F-27 Platypus to defend Mongolia from the expansionist city of Colossotropolis. Rebuilt from scratch with stunning 4K artwork and new weapons, it features 2-player simultaneous action, adjustable difficulty, and the original soundtrack alongside fresh remixes of the classic 1980s tunes. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $7, 40% off. Glaylancer and Genog Classic Shmups Pack bundles two 16-bit shoot-'em-ups. Glaylancer, where a heroine pilot hijacks a fighter to find her missing father across an alien-filled universe, and Genog, where the Angel War battles grotesque demons to stop the destroyer's spread of evil. Both feature improved accessibility options, modern controls, customizable ship power-ups, and classic retro console graphics and sound. It's a 79 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to finish both games. For $6, 90% off. Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 Deluxe Edition is an open-world detective adventure where young Sherlock returns to his mother's Mediterranean home to uncover the truth and forge his reputation as a master sleuth. Explore the vibrant island city, gather clues, and use your mind palace to solve cases through deduction, stealth, or strategic force, navigating political intrigue and moral dilemmas alongside your enigmatic companion John. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off. Gigantosaurus Dino Kart is a family-friendly kart racer where you and up to 3 friends race across 15 tracks in Cretaceous, playing as dino favorites like Bill, Matsu, Rocky, and Tiny while dodging lava eruptions in the mighty Gigantosaurus roar. Pick up jetpack boosts, shortcuts, and rival-knocking power-ups, with auto-steering carts and on-screen reading help from Matsu making it accessible for racers of every age. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare is a colorful third-person shooter reimagining the franchise with charm, humor, and surprisingly solid mechanics, letting you choose plants or zombies across vibrant maps and chaotic 24-player online battles. Master unique character classes, team up for 4-player co-op horde battles and boss encounters, and customize your favorite characters in this lighthearted shooter with enough depth to stay engaging. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off. Particle Hearts is a third-person adventure game set in a sinister, beautiful world made entirely of particles, where you manipulate matter with special abilities to solve puzzles, evade enemies, and uncover hidden paths through open environments. Meet creatures who help or hinder your journey, collect scattered memories, and piece together your connection to this land in a story where friend and foe stay blurred. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $9, 75% off. Arcade Paradise High Score Edition follows Ashley as she manages a family laundromat by day, washing rags and investing profits to secretly build a thriving arcade that revives the sleepy town of Grindstone against her father's wishes. Install over 35 fully playable retro cabinets, including both coin-op DLC packs, the licensed Kung Fury cabinet, and the new Vostok Inc. pinball, in this nostalgic 90s journey from rags to arcade riches. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off. Tin and Kuna is a colorful, chaotic puzzle platformer where you spin and smash through vibrant worlds as Kuna, collecting power crystals to unlock abilities like jumping higher, catching fire, and attaching to magnetic objects throughout. Use these skills to navigate puzzles in peril, rescue Tin, and bring the world back into balance as you defeat the encroaching force of chaos across these colorful, ever-shifting landscapes. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $6, 60% off, Crimson Land is an intense top-down dual-stick shooter where your screen fills with hundreds of aliens, giant spiders, and mutant lizards, as you complete 60 quests to unlock 30 unique weapons and 55 perks before unleashing your arsenal in 5 survival modes. Compete on global and friend leaderboards solo or in 4-player local co-op, with dedicated co-op leaderboards letting you show off your skills together. It's a 70 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 30 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $6, 36% off, Freshly Frosted is a relaxing puzzle game where you solve 144 donut-themed dilemmas using mechanics like splitters, pushers, mergers, and teleporters, all guided by a calming narrator across a whimsical skyscrape of pastry possibilities. Discover delightfully shaped donuts from jelly-filled classics to pumpkin and snowflake designs, each with 12 themed boxes bringing its own flavor, tune, and mesmerizing pastel scenery to soothe and satisfy. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 60% off, Trigger Witch combines 16-bit action-adventure nostalgia with twin-stick shooter chaos in a world where magic's been replaced by guns and grit, filled with dangerous enemies and challenging boss encounters. You play as a young witch in training whose life is upended when a mysterious man invades her realm, sparking a bloody journey to restore balance using an ever-expanding arsenal of powerful and upgradable firearms. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $8, 90% off, Strange Brigade Deluxe Edition is a third-person action shooter where a team of daring heroes battles through dangerous ruins, pyramids, and caves to stop the risen Witch King Sateki and her army of mummified monstrosities. Explore alone or in 2 to 4 player online co-op, solving puzzles, uncovering treasure, and blasting undead enemies across a rip-roaring campaign with the full season pass and Secret Service weapons pack included. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, the Shadowrun trilogy bundles 3 cult tactical RPGs set in a cyberpunk world where magic has reawakened ancient creatures of myth, spanning Seattle's sprawl, Berlin's anarchic flux state, and corporate-controlled Hong Kong. Build a team of Shadowrunners wielding mystical and technical powers, uncover conspiracies tied to a legendary dragon, and turn the tables on corrupt corporations and police. It's an 80 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 110 hours to finish all 3 games. For $8, 60% off, Legend of Keepers, Career of a Dungeon Manager mixes dungeon management with roguelite, letting you plan defenses against invading heroes, placing traps and monsters before watching turn-based battles unfold in this reversed dungeon crawler. Climb the corporate ladder of the Dungeons Company, hire monsters, manage employees and trap stock, deal with strikes and quirky events, and carry master bonuses between increasingly challenging runs. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. Alright, that's it for today's list, everybody. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sale stuff that I put out, leave a like, and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.